Hey guys, Dreaded Wraith here, and today we're going to be doing a perk preview for the upcoming Silent Hill chapter. So this is going to be a review of Pyramid Head's perks and Cheryl Mason's perks to see whether it's worth using Auric cells to buy these characters just for the perks, and see whether they're any good and what they pair with. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because it really helps the channel out. Right, so the first perk we have, starting with Cheryl Mason, is Soul Guard. So we'll go through this now. You have been through immense hardship and you're stronger for it. Gain the endurance status effect for, and then these are the three tiers, 4, 6 or 8 seconds after being healed or having recovered from the dying state. So any time that you're being healed by another survivor or you're recovering from the dying state to a sort of injured position for 8 seconds, if you get hit by a killer, that's like having borrowed time. So during this time, any damage that would put you into the dying state will instead apply the deep wound status effect. So again, this is the borrowed time effect. You have 20 seconds to mend yourself. If you take any damage during this time, you're immediately put into the dying state. Yeah. So this would work with Unbreakable. So you could pick yourself up off the floor, the killer would hit you, you'd essentially have borrowed time, and then you've got 20 seconds to mend yourself. Now, the interesting bit about this perk is while you're affected by a curse, so a hex, so if the killer's got Lullaby, Ruin, or at the end of the game say that Noed goes up, you can fully recover from the dying state yourself. Now, one thing to bear in mind with this is if you pair this with Unbreakable, it will use your Unbreakable first. So then, once the hex is gone, you then can't recover from the dying state. So all in all, I think this is a really good perk. It's definitely worth getting. Especially if you're in a survive with friends. So I think this is a good perk. So moving on to our next one is Blood Pact. When you or the Obsession are injured, your auras are revealed to each other. So again, it's sort of like you're being able to see each other. Just that piece, though, honestly, I think Empathy's better. Because Empathy at tier 3, you can see 128 meters, which is pretty much the full map. So, yeah, average. The other part is after healing the Obsession or being healed by the Obsession, you both gain the haste status effect and move at an increased speed of 5, 6 or 7% until you're no longer within 16 meters. This reduces your chances of being the Obsession by 100%, and if you become the Obsession, the Blood Pact deactivates. So if you're on comms with a friend and you're able to stay close to each other, so say that they run a perk that makes them more likely to be the Obsession, and you're not, and you're running Blood Pact, you can move 7% quicker. But honestly, I think this is a poor perk, and I don't really see it getting much gameplay. So all in all, I wouldn't recommend this one. And the last perk from Cheryl is Repressed Alliance. So you're accustomed to being hunted by malicious forces, and you've begun using it to your advantage. Repressed Alliance activates after repairing generators for a total of 80, 70 or 60 seconds. When repairing a generator while Repressed Alliance is active, press the Activate ability button to call upon the entity to block the generator for 30 seconds, after which Repressed Alliance deactivates. Affected generators will be revealed to all survivors by a white aura. So this is probably it's probably a good perk, not a great perk. So say you're in the middle of a game or you've got a 3-gen at the end and you've realised throughout the match that the killer's got Pop Goes the Weasel. You've got a gen on 90% and the killer's coming towards you. What you can do is use this to block the generator. And then if you keep the killer busy for another 15, 20 seconds, depending on the time it's took for them to get over, it could waste their pop. So it's situational, yes. It's probably more of a meme build. But I'll be interested to see how it works, but it's definitely not meta-defining. So, now we move on to Pyramid Head's perks. So, starting with his first one, Forced Penance. Those who stand in the way of duty will suffer harsh judgment. Survivors who take a protection hit are inflicted with the broken status effect for 60, 70, 80 seconds. This is awful in many, many ways. If you are a killer and you're running this perk, pretty much doesn't matter who you are, the situation that you've got to be in for a survivor to be in your way so that a protection hit is done means that you're pretty much going after someone else anyway. So you're going after someone else, someone runs in for a protection hit, you hit them, they're now broken and can't heal for 80 seconds. The odds are that you're going to either carry on chasing the person you were chasing, and this person then just can't heal, or you're then going to switch targets to the person that is now broken, who would have been injured anyway, and then down them. So it's awful. I would not recommend this perk at all. It's dreadful. It needs changing. Next up, we have Trail of Torment. Trail of Torment, you guide your victims along a path of pain and punishment. After kicking a generator, you become undetectable until the generator stops regressing, or a survivor is put into either an injured state or the dying state by any means. During this time, the generator's aura is revealed in yellow to all survivors. This can only be triggered every 80, 70, or 60 seconds. I actually think this has got some merit. I mean, I think this is a good perk. You could team this up with Pop Goes the Weasel on killers that aren't normally very stealthy. You kick a gen, it causes the survivors to sort of rush in and touch that gen because they now know it's regressing because they can all see it. But you're also undetectable, so you can sort of sneak up on the next gen, and it's not meta defining, but I do think this is a good perk, and there's definitely a few builds you could put this in. And especially on killers that don't have any really undetectable status, I think this is good. Yeah, I'd recommend it. And then his final perk is Deathbound. Those whose lives are intertwined in darkness are destined to suffer together. And when a survivor heals another survivor for one health state, at least 32 meters away, which is the standard terror radius of most killers, or like a trapper, a hillbilly, those sort of killers. The survivor performing the healing action will scream, revealing their location, activating Deathbound for the next 60 seconds. During that time, the survivor will suffer from the Oblivious status effect when further than 16, 12, or 8 meters away from the healed survivor. So they're going to heal a survivor, or another survivor, whilst you're more than 32 meters away. So say you hook someone, you move to the other side of the map because barbecue's gone off, and then you hear the scream behind you. What that's telling you is someone's been healed and they're now oblivious for 60 seconds after they've moved away from the survivor they've healed, which most of the time they usually do. So you're then able to sort of creep up on them and hit them. I mean, this will probably work really well with Make Your Choice, because you have to move away from the hook anyway. The person who unhooks them with Make Your Choice then becomes exposed. If they then choose to heal them at the hook, they then become oblivious. So they're oblivious and exposed. Again, it's very situational. So this is just an average perk to me. Yeah, it's average. So it's more of a meme build. All in all, these perks I would say they're not the best, but I'm just really glad we're getting new content. And I'm definitely going to be trying these perks out in new builds on both Survivor and Killer, and seeing if we can come up with some fun and interesting combinations with add-ons maybe. So let me know what you think down in the comments, whether you agree with how I've assigned these perks, and whether you think there's other perks and what other builds we could put together. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.